Hi there, this is Dr. Evan Osar. It is Saturday morning, and today is day 2 of the IDEA Personal Trainer Institute on the East Coast here. We are in Virginia getting ready for our live session today. Sold out again. Yesterday's shoulder session was sold out. Today's session is sold out, or I should say it's at capacity. So thank you for everybody that came yesterday. Looking forward to working with the fitness professionals here today as well. Today we're discussing hip issues, specifically looking at the psoas and glutes. And one of the things that people will often ask or are often told is the psoas is a cause of your low back pain. The psoas is a cause of your hip pain. You got big toe pain, you probably got a psoas problem as well. And I wrote the book, The Psoas Solution, so people often think like, oh, you must be right, Dr. Osar, it's a psoas. And one of the things I try to get across in the book, if people actually read the book, versus just looked at the pictures, and or people have heard me speak before, I always say it's never one muscle problem alone. It's never the psoas that's the cause of your issue, the sole cause of your issue. It's never weak glutes that's the sole cause of your issue. It's never, general weak, I should say never. You never say always or never. It's rarely the psoas that's the cause of your issue. It's rarely the glutes alone that's the cause of your issue. It's rarely that you just need to get more strength. Most of the time that we see with our clients that have chronic low back issues, clients that have femoral acetabular impingement or that pinching in front of their hip, labral tears, the individuals that have hip osteoarthritis, it really comes down to one thing. It's the strategy that they're using for posture, for movement, for loading. It really comes down to that. So when we look at our clients, we want to assess for what is your current strategy? What are your habits that you've created based upon your history, your medical history? Have you had surgeries, traumas, injuries? What exercises do you do or have you done in your life? What things are you currently doing in your everyday life? And also, what are your functional goals? What are you looking to be able to do? Because when we take all that information together, then we assess our clients to see what their current habits are, what their current strategy is. Then we can create the best strategy for them. For some clients, they need myofascial release. They need more lengthening through somewhere. It's not always the psoas, and rarely is the psoas need lengthening, but every once in a while you find somebody that needs to have their psoas stretched and or lengthened. But again, you have to assess that to determine that. We can't just say, oh, I see this in your posture, or I know this to be true. You assess your client to determine, do you really need psoas lengthening? I've assessed people for 25 years now. I've been doing this for 25 years. It's kind of crazy. I can count on both hands the amount of times that people actually need true psoas lengthening. Do they need more strength? Yes. Do they need more functional length to be able to control their length? Absolutely. But do they actually need to be stretching their psoas? Very rarely, if ever, have I found that to be true. It's similar to the diaphragm or the pelvic floor. For most of our clients, it's a strategy that they're using. Too often they're gripping from their low back. Too often they're gripping from the posterior and external or the hip abductors. And that's changing the alignment of their spine. It's changing the alignment of their pelvis. It's changing the alignment of the femoral head in the acetabulum. That's a strategy issue. It's not necessarily, I need to stretch them. You may need to teach them how to release. You probably need to release them, teach them how to start to use cues from other than just squeezing. Teach them how to hinge properly, come up using their glutes without driving the femoral head too far forward and or immediately compressing it into the femoral or into the acetabulum, I should say. You need to teach your client how to go through functional patterns and determine the best strategy for them. How do you progress them? Are you progressing them appropriately so that they can actually use and control that femoral head in the acetabulum? Because that's the biggest issue we see with our clients. They're not doing a good job controlling the femoral head in the acetabulum. They're not doing a good job aligning and controlling the cylinder over top of it. If you look at the best lifters, and the best lifters, there's some in every industry, but the best lifters as a whole, as a collective whole, are the Olympic lifters. And if you watch what Olympic lifters do, they do an awesome and amazing job at aligning their cylinder, that rib cage over top of the pelvis. They do an amazing job aligning the hip, knee, ankle, and foot. And what do they do when they can no longer do the lift? Most of them, they drop the lift. They don't try to muscle through the lift. What you and I do, what we've been taught to do, is muscle through the lifts, so that causes us to develop some suboptimal strategies. And that's oftentimes what perpetuates these issues and then leads to the impingement issue and the femoral acetabular impingement and the ultimate degenerative changes of the hip joint. So, in a nutshell, assess your clients, determine their current strategy, the habits that they've developed, address the habits, the suboptimal habits, helping them create more optimal habits. and then help them use these more optimal habits and integrate them into the functional patterns, the squatting, lunging, bending, the rotating patterns, the core patterns that they need to do to stabilize the trunk, spine, pelvis, and hip complex, and then have them challenge them dynamically as you can challenge them. And that's how you help your clients. That's how you become a go-to specialist, and that's how you differentiate yourself from the rest of the industry who's just trying to throw a bunch of exercising and hoping something sticks for their current clients. So this is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Insider. If you're here at IDEA this weekend, stop by and say hello. And if not, then thanks for being on this podcast. Thanks for being on this Instagram Live. Maybe we'll start a podcast soon. We'll have like 3 listeners, 3 viewers, because who wants to sit around and listen to us talk for an hour and a half? I don't even know what I talk about for an hour and a half. Anyway, have a great day. Thank you for all you do for your clients, for our community, and for helping to spread the good word and being the light for those individuals who need you and for those potential clients who are looking for someone just like you. Make it a great day. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in this post, and I'll look at them later. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.